It's a bit dark on that.
Okay, guys, afternoon, everyone. There are microphones at either side, so if you would like a question, just sort of indicate and we'll get round as many as we can. Luke, do you want to kick us off, please?
Giovanni, what did you learn from last week's game about the approach of your team and Liverpool that you can take into this week's game?
Well, as I said many times before, it's always easier to play the second game against an opponent. Of course, we all know Liverpool really well because of all the games they play in Champions League, but also in the Premier League. So, but we played against a strong side. Last week we had, I think we have to find more moments in the game when we can be dangerous. Of course, our approach will be different tomorrow because we, as I said before, we need points to hopefully play also after the break in Europe. So, but we're still gonna play a really good side.
Just a squad update first, please, Giovanni. How's the squad looking?
Squad's looking good. We have no fresh injuries, no new injuries. The only one who had is a little doubt is Kamara, but all the other ones are good to go.
You mentioned that game at Anfield. Just how capable do you think your side are after watching last week of getting a result tomorrow night and keeping that hope of football after Christmas alive?
Well, I think we are, especially at home, we have some strong performances, not only this season, last season, but also this season. I think the game we played against Napoli was a really good one against a really strong opponent. I think we were, really in the game until the penalties and the red card, of course. But I think though that game also gave us confidence to get something out of our home games. And tomorrow for us is another chance to get points.
Good afternoon, Giovanni. We spoke on Saturday about the players beginning to get their swagger back in attack and how well they're doing going forward with chances created. But in analysing that game for the weekend, there was a lot of very good individual performances. Players seem like they're starting to get their form and their confidence back. With that said, do you think you're ideally placed tomorrow night to go and have a real good go at Liverpool and take the game to them and just basically we want a kind of Rangers performance? You think ideally with everything going on, you're in a good shape to do that?
Well, of course. I mean, it starts, of course, with your tactics, how you approach game, your intentions. Of course, you need players to be in form because I think it's connected. The way you start games, the way you perform as a player, and especially in the league games, we are playing really well, and we need to take that form as well into the game tomorrow. Which, of course, we need to attack, but we need to defend really well because we're playing against a side who can do both. So it's going to be, I think, a very hectic game. And as we always play at home, and I think again, the Ibrox crowd will definitely push us to another good performance.
Giovanni, you said there that it's always easier to play a team the second time around. What, if anything, new did you learn about Liverpool after the game against Anfield, and how has that affected your preparation for tomorrow?
Well, nothing really new. I think the build-up they had last week was a little bit different than they used to do. So we need to we have prepared the players well. Of course, they have some injuries at the moment, so we have to see how their lineup will be. But again, as I said before, the threat they have, attackingly with the strikers, they're all like at the top of their game, world-class players. So we have to be ready for their attacks, but we also have to be able and to be brave to attack as well, and we have to do that more frequently than we did last week.
Andy?
Hi, Giovanni. Obviously, you want to start every game of football well, but how important is it those opening 5 minutes or so tomorrow against this team to get the crowd into the game, to not let Liverpool settle and kind of let them know that it's not going to be an easy night for them?
Well, that's always important, because you want to start games on the front foot, and I think that's what we always did at home. Especially in games we needed a good performance, and that's also for us the key to start the game well and make sure we keep the pressure on our opponents and work hard, as a team to create chances to score and to at moments defend as well.
Stephen?
Giovanni, it's been a very difficult 3 games so far. Is it important to enjoy the Champions League, and has that been possible so far?
Yeah, well, the results were, of course, not what we wanted. We knew we are going to play against good opponents, but I think we did really well against Napoli. I think that wasn't, a performance that was really bad, especially if you see their performance in Amsterdam when they beat Ajax 6-1. So it is a team who is capable in performing away from home, and I think we did really well. I think that was our best game in Europe this season, until the red card. But tomorrow we have to have the same approach, the same performance, and as well keep playing with 11 men, because in Europe against Champions League playing with 10 men it's a really difficult task. So that's also very important tomorrow. But again, we have respect for our opponents, but we want to go and continue as well in Europe after the break. So that means we have to get points in the last 3 games we play.
Gabriel?
Giovanni, you were just talking there saying that it's not gone exactly as you wanted so far. You did play well against Napoli, but the fans are still waiting for the big Champions League moment. Do you feel that, given it's against one of the best teams in the world and you're here at Ibrox at home, that this is the perfect game to give the fans that moment?
Well, of course it's the perfect time. It's and we're gonna work hard and to achieve what we want. And I think we are in a good moment, especially after the win in the weekend. And we analyzed the game well last week, and today we train tactically, and tomorrow we have to go out, enjoy being in the Champions League, but it has to, enjoying being there it means also you have to get points, because otherwise, you are here to perform on the level we want, and tomorrow is another chance to do so.
Colin?
Hi, Gio. If you want to be playing European football after Christmas, is tomorrow night? Do you need to take 3 points? Do you need to win the match?
Well, we need to get points. Yeah, ideally, of course, 3 points. I think also, we have to see the other results, but I think we want to be able to proceed in Europe when we play our last game at home against Ajax, so that hopefully we're in the situation where with a good result we can continue in Europe. But that means also we have to get points out of the next 2 games, because of course Ajax is already on 3 points, and the loss we had away, it's a big difference. So we need to have points in the next coming games.
Giovanni, we've seen a difference in approach away from home compared to at home. Even last season, you take Braga, Leipzig and Napoli this year. The fans will probably be expecting a similar approach to Napoli, where you go and get in their face. Is that still possible, even though you're playing against this calibre of team?
Well, I think that's very possible. Of course, it's different when you play away from home, because you certainly after 2 big defeats in Champions League, you don't want to go to Anfield and open up all spaces for Liverpool to exploit. You want to have a good game management where you are able in the second half to be close to them and try to get something out of the game. I think we did really well, because against Ajax we were already out of the game after 25 minutes. The game was over. Napoli we did much better, and I think the second goal at Anfield, just at the time, the second hour we started, I think, really brave and good. We conceded a penalty, but of course it's possible tomorrow, because I think we have the team to do so. Against a quality side, we are capable in doing so, but we have to be really, really focused, in the transition moments, in the moments we have to defend. It takes a lot of, energy for my players to play in that way. And there are times, you have to defend. Like we see Liverpool also against Arsenal. At times they both had a low block to defend, and once you're in moments where you can be dangerous, you have to be clinical and to make sure you create chances, but also score. So I think in the away game, in the end, we had two big chances to score, which we didn't. So those moments in Champions League are very vital to get your goals.
Paul?
You have a big decision to make in attack. Giovanni, what are the respective strengths of Antonio and Alfredo? How do they differ? What are you weighing up?
Well, I mean they're both strikers, but their strengths and their way of playing is a bit different. They're both natural goal scorers, that's for sure. So it's always for me in case to see what we need in games and who is in form, who we think is going to be the best options. But that's not only for the striker option, but also for the other 10 who are playing. So I think it's a normal process you always do in the games prior, the days prior to the game. And tomorrow we're going to start with 11 players who I think are capable in getting a good result.
Have you made your decision?
I made my decision, yeah.
Chris?
How difficult is that conversation, Gio, if you have to leave Antonio out again, if that is your decision, playing so well domestically, scoring as many goals domestically? How do you rationale that with him, and how tough is that conversation to have with him?
Well, it's the way you. Of course, you pick your 11. You have sometimes players you think, okay, I need a one-on-one conversation with him. Sometimes you don't, because you concentrate on the first 11. I think it's a normal process, not only for the striker position, as I said before, but also, as it was for the goalie and your defense midfield. So for me, that's no problem. It's taking the decision together with your staff and then communicate to the players and prepare them for the task ahead. Your tactics, but also what we can expect from Liverpool. And I think that's my job, and that's also a part that I like.
John?
Gio, just back. Yeah, got me.
When you difficult with the light.
Yeah,
it's like I'm interrogating you, interrogating me. You don't think so?
So from behind the light, you talked about it being a hectic match and the importance of keeping 11 men on the field. Is that something you will directly address the team about, the importance of keeping their heads in a match like this?
Well, that's always important to make the right decision, to make sure you are focused on the game. That's it's gonna be hectic as well, because the playing style of Liverpool is quite direct as well at times. So I also mean hectic in those moments. With long balls, with runners, they have a lot of pace. So. But I think also in a very essential part of the game is also mentally, because we have to be strong, in every moment we face, and make sure we stay with 11. That's for sure, and make sure we get stronger when the game proceeds, instead of don't get the right decisions at the right moments.
Hi, Gio. We've heard media reports earlier of possible interest in Leon King from down south. Is that just a testament to how well he's performing under yourself? And is there any chance we can see him tomorrow at all?
Well, you will see him tomorrow. I don't heard about any interest down south. It's obviously when you performing well in Scotland, you get interest. I think Leon is a player who's developing really well. He played already some games last year, but we wanted to make space for him to get more minutes. And when he's taking the minutes, he's performing really well. So I'm really happy. He's only 18. He still has a lot to learn, but he's one of the players who's open for coaching, who's open to put the energy and work hard to better himself. And So I think his future is very bright, but he needs to continue and playing well, training well. And in that process, we're helping him, and he's developing really well.
Last one for Lindsay.
Yeah, given the stature of the game, Gio, if you were to win tomorrow night, how would that rank in terms of personal achievement for you and this team's achievement?
Well, obviously it will be a great win for us. Because we need the points, but. Of course, Liverpool is a team, as I said also last week. It's a team who's been 3 times in the Champions League final last 5 years. I think they have an excellent coach. They have a big squad, a squad that is very balanced. Even with the injuries they have now, they can still feel a really strong side. And we are. It's the first time we play against each other as teams, but definitely will be a great win for us when we achieve that tomorrow. So, but our main focus is to get points. That's for us now very important for the remainder of the group stage and also the remainder of a European season.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Camera, is that interfering with anyone, or is that all right? Okay. Don't know who's got the mic. Yep. Ronnie, kick us off this, or Andy, on you go.
Hi, John. You obviously enjoyed a great run in the Europa League last season, the Champions League, clearly a step up. What has been the biggest difference going from one competition to another?
Just the standard in players, just the obvious, really. The standard of player, the standard of team it's miles apart. Of course, it is. It's the Champions League. Europa League's a great competition, and we were over the moon and done so well to reach the final of it. But the Champions League is undoubtedly a step up. Yeah.
Just looking at the makeup of this group and how it's shaping up, is this a must-win game tomorrow?
I think if we wanna get anything out the group, you'd say so, probably. Yeah. I think if we get a result tomorrow, we've got 2 massive games that we can, especially at Ibrox against Ajax, we can try and get a result there. So I'd say probably if you want to try and do something, you've got to get a result. Yeah.
Given that, then, John, what needs to change in terms of approach to try and get something from the game?
What needs to change? Our game plan going into the last game wasn't much dissimilar to what we were going to try and do tomorrow. We went to Anfield trying to get a result, and we're going to do the same tomorrow. We'll be coming off the traps at Ibrox with everyone behind us, trying to put some pressure on them, trying to start quick as we always do. Of course, at Anfield we try to do the same, but playing at Anfield, they've got the backing behind them. It's a tough place to go, as world football knows. But no, at Ibrox now it is going to be different, and hopefully everyone behind us, we can do something special.
John, good afternoon. I spoke to the manager about the players and the team getting their confidence and their swagger back, mainly in attack as well. A lot of chances getting created, a lot of goals domestically getting created. How is the atmosphere in the dressing room, and do you feel like there's a confidence amongst the squad now, individually and collectively, that they're starting to get back to where we want to be? And how does that set you up ahead of tomorrow night to go and have a real good go?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the last few weeks has been better. It's been more flowing. Lots more chances created, and a lot better individual performances as well, along with that, which helps. But no, as you say, going into tomorrow, I think everyone does believe that we can get a result. Don't think fielding a team. If you didn't think that, of course you've got to go in with belief, and you've got to believe that you can get 3 points. So, going in with loads of confidence. The atmosphere is great within the team. We're all really close and raring to go. Had an extra day than Liverpool to recover and go as well. So hopefully that plays a part.
Hi John, have you enjoyed the pressure of the Champions League so far in terms of the games so far, and obviously this game, the context of it being another game between a Scottish side and an English side? Do you relish what that pressure brings and looking forward to the game as well?
I haven't enjoyed the results, no, not one bit. Going into the games before the results, of course, everyone's excited and you want to go and do your best and showcase what you've got, but the results haven't been good enough. Everyone's can see that, but we don't like it just as much as everyone watching us and supporting us. And obviously we're going to go into the game tomorrow trying to rectify that. We need some points on the board if we want to get something out the group. So definitely going to win the game, and that's what we're going to do.
John, how disappointed were you after the result last week, and are the squad going to need the spirit they showed last season to win this game tomorrow night?
Disappointed, of course, to lose a football match. You'd always are. Going to Anfield, we knew how tough it was going to be. Everyone was talking about they were in a sticky patch, but still Liverpool Football Club, still a massive team who've achieved great things, and they're going through a bit of I'm seeing in the media a tough spell, but it's not a crisis. They just had a couple of poor results. They're still an unbelievable team with unbelievable players, unbelievable manager. So again, we're under no illusions that it's going to be a tough night. Even though we are at home, we're gonna try and put the pressure on them and take the game to them. But we're under no illusions that it's going to be a tough night for us.
You are at home. What happens to this Rangers team at Ibrox? You just seem to be a different animal. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, you could say. I just think there's something special about Ibrox. Anyone who's been here on big European nights and felt the atmosphere, felt the aura around the place. There's just something that happens underneath the lights here, and I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it, but I think it just gets everyone, and it just gives you a lift. There's just something in the air, and hopefully that can be the same again tomorrow.
John, how do you assess your own performance last week up against the quality midfield, obviously, in Thiago and Henderson, and how determined are you tomorrow to be on the right end of the result against such quality opposition? Yeah, no, it's great to come up against these players, but they're on the other team, and you've got to try and block that out. You just got to play your own game and show them respect to a certain extent, but at the same time, show them no respect as well. Just try and get in amongst it, and I think there's a lot of players can be great players when you've got time on the ball. I think all of us are great players when we've got time on the ball, but when you get in someone's face, things change, and hopefully if we can do that and our midfield match their midfield tomorrow, I think it'll be key, and as long as we're up against them and laying a glove on them, then hopefully we can get some.
John, just wanted to ask you what you learned from the first game. Obviously, Liverpool changed their shape a bit. Was that difficult for you to get up to the midfield when you've got 4 attackers for Liverpool? And is that something that going into this second game you think the team will have learned from?
Yes, they have changed it of late. It wasn't 3 against 3 what we expected and what it has been, but you've got to adapt. And second half in the last week, I thought we got our shape a lot better and we got up to them. Had a couple of chances, as you've seen. They've scored off 2 set pieces and we've had 2 big chances. So could have been a bit different. Of course, they dominated the game and dominated possession and created loads of other chances as well. But no, you've got to adapt in times like that. Going into tomorrow again, we don't know whether it's going to be a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3. What they usually play, they've had a few injuries and whatnot in the press. That's getting highlighted. So who's to know what they're going to bring? But we know what we're going to bring. So that's what we'll have to focus on.
John, did your friends on Merseyside give you a hard time after last week's result, or were they sympathetic, or what was their response?
I didn't even want to speak to any of them, to be honest. No, they're just all happy that I'm playing at the stage I'm playing at now. More than any, and the overriding thing for my friends and family is pride, which is nice. So, yeah, didn't really want to speak to them, but I had a few nice messages along the way as well.
Last one here, if we can get the mic down.
So they are. John, you've sort of touched on aggression there. Do you think that is sort of the key to getting a result tomorrow, showing aggression but in the right way? The manager just said there about the importance of keeping 11 men on the park, so do you think that could be the key to a victory tomorrow?
It'd help, wouldn't it? Keeping 11 men on the park, yeah. Yeah, at Ibrox, it's got to be key. You've got to get up against people and get the crowd up, get the crowd going, and try and instill a bit of fear in them. I think if we can get up to them and really get in the faces and be brave in defending, it might leave us open a little bit at times, and everyone's got to be brave in the stands and bear with us. But I think if we can do that, that's probably the only way we'll be able to get a result. No good sitting off a team like Liverpool. They're obviously really talented.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Cheers, everyone.